Living Corporate is brought to you by Doximity. Over 90% of graduating medical students join Doximity to use our tools before earning their doctoral degree. As medicine's largest network, there's an elevated level of responsibility to everything we do. We don't take that responsibility lightly and are committed to working towards a more equitable world inside and beyond our virtual office walls. If you want to learn more about Doximity, make sure you go to your app store, type in DOXIMITY. That's DOXIMITY.
Hey, hello. Happy Motivation Microclass Leaders Learn. I am so excited to be here with you today. So I, as a mentor, as a results mentor specifically, one thing when you are thinking about how to really drive towards meaningful and measurable results, you have to think about it from the perspective of where are you trying to get to, right? Where are you going? What is the end? Where is your final destination, right? So if I think about, okay, where is this final destination for a Monday? Where is this final destination for the beginning of a new work week, if it is for you? Where is this final destination for how you want to just approach a Monday, right? Or any day, right? And so I always think like, okay, it's not necessarily around how much I'm going to get done, but it's about how I go about doing what I'm doing. Is the way I'm going about doing what I'm doing, is it in a way that works for me? So when I think about find your way, right? She says, you got to find your way before it's too late. You have to know where you're going and why you are going there. And so for me, it's super important that not only I'm just motivating people for the sake of motivating, but that I'm really motivating people towards accountability and actionable accountability at that, right? So whatever you know that you need to do for yourself and however you need to up level your game, right? So I said I'm a radical results mentor for leaders looking to level up to legend. And that really means people who, are just, tired of just out here, BSing around. And it's really about something. I have the fortunate pleasure of finding amazing news about Black women and then posting about it on LinkedIn. And it makes me so happy and just fills my day every day, right? And I think about all of these women like Dr. Wicker. I'm calling her doctor now, future Dr. Wicker. She gonna be a doctor in like 5 or 6 years, right? She gonna have her degree in 4 years and she gonna be 17. She gonna have her degree like ready to practice with her boards and stuff by the time she's 19, 20 years old, unless she wants to do some kind of ridiculous specialty that they're gonna make her take 1,000 tests for. Then it might take her another 8 years or 10 years. But Dr. Alina Wicker, right? She is going like, so she already knew when she was probably 6 or 7, because I haven't read her story because I haven't had time. She knew she wanted to be a doctor. And her parents said, okay, we got to study. And she said, okay. It's like my daughter said, I want to play the guitar. I said, well, you got to take lessons. She said, okay, well, what's lessons? She said, like a teacher? She was 3. She said, like a teacher? I said, yes, like a teacher. She said, okay. I said, but then you have to practice. She said, what's practice? I said, like you got to come home and play. She said, yeah. Boom. It's nothing but a word. Okay. And so once you find your way and you know what you're doing, you have a direction. So the message for today is find your way, right? Before it's too late. And I want to talk about real quickly what finding your way looks like and a way to help you think about finding your way. And this is my basic philosophy. This is basically how I live. This is like basically how I teach. This is how I mentor. This is how I structure. Like this is me that you get ready to see. And it's basically called the 7 C's for change success, right? And basically it's 7 concepts is 7 carefully thought out, chosen certainties that I believe that when they are put together, they help you hone habits to harness the certainties of change. And these are what I consider to be the 7 certainties of change success. And when you have them, you'll see how it works. So the first one is culture. And I want you to think about culture from the standpoint of culture is the environment in which you are in most of the time. So it could be your family, it could be your culture of origin, it could be your culture at work, right? If you are part of a strong work culture, an example that comes to mind right away, and maybe I'll use it as a slide, is a basketball team, right? So I am a Portland Trail Blazers season ticket holder. I'm a fan of basketball in general, but I'm a fan because I live in Portland, and there's a culture to the Trailblazers. There's a culture to the games. There's a culture to the crowd. There's a culture to our food. There's a culture to the halftime. There's a culture to the kids' activities. There's a culture to first time. If it's your first time at the game, you get shouted out. There's a vet culture. Like we have an amazing culture, and the culture is what makes you you. A culture is what says this is how we are as a group. This is what bonds us. This is what brings us together. So imagine the winning basketball team is the one with the strongest culture, the one who operates right in such a closely I want to say a close way that's, conducive to success, right? So culture is that first C. That second one is capacity. And I want you to think about capacity from the standpoint of you have the resources. It could be people, it could be technology, it could be tools, it could be the time, it could be space, it could be physical buildings, right? It could be support. It could be just a ton of different things. But capacity means you can fit this new way in. You can fit in flexibility. You can fit in transformation. You can fit in activity necessary to spur along the change that you need. And then that third C is competence. It's competence. I look at this picture and I think about the sheer competence that went into every aspect of this photo, from the detailed, precise tailoring of every piece of garment that we see right here, right? To this amazing human being just standing here, just looking amazing, right? The competence that it took to pull this together. Now, maybe it's a 2-person job. I don't know. Maybe only 2 people did it. Maybe it was the tailor is the model and, they stood a camera up, with help from a friend. I would be shocked. But to me, this looks like competence personified, right? Visually, because of the detail. And when you are undergoing a transformation, when you are thinking about the end, when you are saying, you know what, I want to accomplish something important, meaningful, and measurable, competence is key. Next, a coalition. When you want to get some real stuff done, when you have something important to get done, when you are trying to move the needle, you have got to have a coalition of people behind you. Now, that coalition of people, okay, everybody doesn't have to be 100% exactly agreeing with you and marching in one step, but they need to be with you. And now, I'm going to be honest, the coalition that we need to make anything happen is we need white people. And that's why this picture is specifically like this, because we need white people to step up and step into this moment and get some stuff happening, because we are in some perilous times that's about to get worse, because people are living with their heads buried in the sand and acting like nothing's wrong and acting like everything is okay out here, and everything isn't okay. We need to do some very serious deep dive, right? Not only to figure out who we are, right, and find our way, but who do we want to be, right? And once we determine who we want to be, we have to be with people who are going to be supporting us, that are going to be helping us. And when people support you, people who really care about you, they help you. Bottom line, people who don't care about you, they don't help you. They talk about helping you, but they don't do it. And so you have to think about it, right? You have to find your way. You have to figure stuff out. But man, if you got a coalition, it makes everything so much easier. And coalitions, if you think about large movements, if you think about major things that have happened in time, coalitions are the only way they get done. You think about civil rights, you think about white women's suffrage, you think about, white gay rights. Those things, right? They got moving because you had a coalition of people behind them to push it, and that was relentless. You think about all the right wingers that we got on courts and everywhere now. They were relentless in the coalition of people backing them up with their money, with their time, with their talent. Money, time, talent. Money, time, talent. Next, courage. Okay, you have got to put courage in there. You have got to get courage in there. If without the courage, none of that other stuff is really going to matter. Courage means you doing something that you have not done before. Courage is you going to feel uncomfortable. Courage is you putting in some work. Courage is this is more diligent. Courage is when it doesn't feel good, you still do it. Courage is people are laughing at you. Courage is people unfollowing you. Courage is people don't like you. Courage is people talking shit about you. Who cares? Bump them. Bump them. Woosa, baby. Woosa. Woosa. Conviction. Conviction is you have made up in your mind. You are undaunted. You are undeterred. You are unbossed. You are unbothered. Like my woman, Shirley Chisholm. Okay. First Black woman to run for president. First Black woman to sit on Congress. Look her up. She is one of my heroes. Conviction means you have made up in your mind and you feel solid in your determination about what you're thinking and what you're planning and what you want to do, and you okay. So you ready. And then the last thing is the commitment. And when you're committed, you got your tools, you got your resources, and you got your game face on, and you are ready to go. This sister right here is ready, and boom. And she got the right book with her, right? She got the right book right here with her. The memo. If you haven't gotten the memo, you better get the memo. Okay. You need to get the memo. All right. So the 7 C's, okay, to secure change success, or the 7 certainties of change, are culture, capacity, coalition, competence, courage, conviction, and commitment. And these are the things that you have got to have in place when you are trying to find your way and choose a way and make a path so that you can advance, so that you can learn, so that you can move from leader to legend. That is how it goes. You have got to put in the work, and remember that the work is your work, right? Because leaders learn change. And so I'm a leader. I learn every day. I want you to learn along with me, and let's learn together. So today's Monday motivation message for the Monday Microclass is: leaders learn change, and you must find your way to determine where you are trying to go. And when you put 7 C's in place, the 7 certainties, they help to secure that success. And those 7 certainties are, first and foremost, the culture, being in the right surrounding. Secondly, is having the actual capacity, right? The time, the space, the tools, and resources to do the thing. The third is having a coalition of people behind you that are going to help you, work with you, and support you. Fourthly is having some competence. You have to know what the hell you're doing. So that means you have to study up and step up, right? And make sure you have some strategies and skills in place. The fourth thing, right, is you really want to make sure that you are committed to, or that you are convicted in what you're doing, and that you have made up your mind and nothing is going to deter you. After that, you have to activate that courage. That means you really have to say, am I doing this? Okay, then I'm going to be uncomfortable, and discomfort is part of growth, right? What thing happens that is good for you, that doesn't cost you a little bit of discomfort? And that is where I really want white people to step up. I really want white people to step into being discomfort, feeling discomfort, experiencing discomfort, and recognizing that Black people experience discomfort all the time just for existing. I want that. And that does take courage. That's going to take you to boss up. That's going to take you to say, okay, I may not be liked by everyone, and that is okay. But that's where your courage kicks in, okay? And then finally, right, you want to be committed. You want to be committed. And committed means that you're going to be in this for the long haul, not while it's cute, not while it's fashionable, not while it's performative, but for permanence, right? And that means you want to practice it and you want to put it in place every day, right? And so you want to think about finding your way, whatever that way is fine for you. It may not be fine for other people. It is okay, because we are all beautiful individual people that are deserving of happiness, love, success, and fulfillment. And so with that, stay positive from the standpoint of pushing yourself as a leader to learn change. And I will see you soon. Leaders learn change, and so let's learn change together. Thank you. You want to learn more about me? You can go to VondaPage.com, click all around. But hey, stay tuned here on Living Corporate, and I will see you soon.
Living Corporate is brought to you by Textio. Today's top talent is everywhere, representing everyone. And our work environment should reflect the level of inclusion to meet that standard. Textio achieves this in building more equitable company cultures through the language we use in our job postings. That culture is formed one hire at a time, making the words we use to reach more diverse candidates all the more important. Our advanced language insights and employer brand content is what drives our mission of inclusion. Through our industry-leading application of artificial intelligence and machine learning, we're able to widen companies' reach in finding and building upon the very diverse talent that empowers a culture of belonging. Every door should be open to every qualified job seeker. Again, that's Textio.